Welcome back. A U.S. District Court judge giving IRS officials a month to explain under oath what happened to years of emails from Lois Lerner and 6 other officials tied to the targeting of conservative groups. This as Fox News has learned that Lois Lerner warned fellow employees to, quote, be careful about what they put in their emails. Congressman Lee Terry is with me. He is on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Congressman, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning to you.
So what do you think this means? I mean, are we finally going to get some answers since the federal judge is forcing officials there to testify under oath?
Well, let's hope so. What the American public really needs right now is the truth. The truth will be a powerful antidote, because right now what's being caused is a great deal of mistrust in government, regardless of what party you're in. People just see this as evidence that government isn't working right. And hopefully the judge can get the truth, because when it just looks like they're hiding evidence.
Well, why do you think it's so important to point out that she told the staff, watch what you put in emails? This was very close to when, in fact, this was about to blow up.
Well, what it tells me as a lawyer, this is very damaging evidence, because first of all, it tells me that she knew what she was doing was wrong. And then secondly, when she's emailing others, it tells me that it's a bigger conspiracy than just one lone rogue IRS person.
So what are you expecting to hear from this testimony under oath? Do we know who from the IRS will in fact testify? Will it be the Commissioner, Koskinen?
Well, I hope he does, because he's the one that's ultimately responsible for the agency and the one that should have all of the information. So we don't know when this is going to take place. We know that they have to supply the information, but we also know, and this goes back to the trust issue. So you say, oh, gee whiz, we spilt coffee or whatever on our hardboard and it erased everything and we had to throw it away. But we know by law they have to have that backed up at least one time. So we know that the data is stored someplace else and they're just not being forthcoming. And so we need the commissioner to stand up, be honest with the public, and start establishing some level of trust and honesty.
But it just seems so extraordinary that in 2014, in this day and age, that emails are destroyed and we don't have backups, etc. So I agree with you that there's got to be a backup somewhere. But why has it been so difficult for Congress to get their hands on it? I mean, what about summoning the IT guys here?
Well, we can, but we don't have access to them. And I think that's where the judge is really going here, is not only saying, okay, we're going to give you one chance to show that you really do have this information. The next part is the judge can order them to make the technology available for our forensic people to go in and now find it. Because we do know, very confidently know, that there is storage of this data that is accessible someplace, but they are preventing us from getting it.
What do you think those emails say?
They being the IRS.
What do you think this is going to prove?
Well, again, as a lawyer, when you're trying to hide something, it means you have something to hide. So we may not know the specifics of what it says, but it's got to be pretty damaging that there was a real conspiracy here to use Soviet-style tactics to use government resources against your political opponents. And I think there will be direct evidence of that. Now, whether it goes into the White House or not is yet to be determined, but certainly the amount of fight in them to prevent it would certainly raise that question that it goes to the White House.
What catalysts should we be watching? Okay, so the judge is giving the IRS 30 days. What happens before that? What's your timeline on this? Next couple of weeks?
Well, we're going to have to rely on the judges to do what's right and just. That's what they get paid to do. And they need to provide subpoenas. They need to force the information out. And whether or not that occurs within the next 30 days. I don't think the administration and the IRS is going to be forthcoming. I think they're going to continue to drag their feet on telling the people the truth of what happened. And it'll take court orders to get it done, and that'll be after 30 days.
So what are the implications of that if they continue dragging their feet? I agree with you. That's what I think, too. They're not going to give this up. We've learned that.
Yes, and frankly, the federal courts can have more authority to penalize them, to force them to open up their technologies wherever their storage servers are, to open the access to that, where perhaps the House doesn't have that level of authority. But certainly when judges start ordering it, I think the people pay attention more to that.
Yep, for sure.